Welcome back to the Competitor Talk. This is your host, Kyle Dangler. This podcast is presented by Lad Creative Works, and today, folks, we have a very special treat for you. Coming on the air today is former national gold medalist for Great Britain and current stuntman in feature movies, including over 40, Bobby Holland Hanton. Now, Bobby has recently worked with such luminary actors, including Josh Brolin, Tom Cruise, Robert Downey Jr., Johnny Depp, Leonardo DiCaprio, Samuel L. Jackson. The list just keeps going on and on. But being a stuntman, he's currently a stuntman primarily for Chris Hemsworth, who is Thor in the Avengers movies, including Avengers Infinity War, Avengers Endgame, and also he's done work a few years ago also on the Dark Knight Rises movie, which is starring Christian Bale. He's also his stuntman. He's been stuntman for several people in the industry. And just real quick before we start, just wanted to mention Donovan Russo will be co-hosting this one with me. He's written some pieces on it at various forms of internships that he's been a part of in the past. So he's well-rounded and he's well-known in the business. So we're just going to get started right away, and we'll just get Bobby on the air and let's get going. Bobby?
Hey there, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Hopefully the signal holds for us.
Oh, that's fine. Yeah, so, we'll just get right away started. I know you're busy and you're on a tight schedule, so I just wanted to introduce you to the show. Welcome. And my co-host here is Donovan. He's also on the call right now.
Thank you very much for having me, guys. Thank you. Much appreciated.
Yeah, so, I just wanted to, start off with, the question of, how did you get into, the stunt business? Was it something that, you kind of just fell into? Was it something that, looking forward in, your career after school that, you were kind of looking towards? And, how is it, just dealing with, all the, kind of wear and tear on your body, having to do all these, stunts and, if you will, kind of these physical laboring activities?
Yeah, no, I didn't just fall into it. My background is men's artistic gymnastics, all six pieces. So I started gymnastics when I was 4 years old and retired and stopped competing for Great Britain when I was 17. So I already had a whole body of work, or if you like, I spent all my younger years up until I was 17 of training 5-6 days a week, spending 3-4 hours a session in the gymnastics gym. So once I retired gymnastics at 17, I always had a passion for football. You guys call soccer, which is fine, but we call it football. And I always had a passion for football. So from the age of 17 to 19, I played semi-professional soccer in a local club, near where I'm from on the south coast in England. I then, at 19, stopped playing soccer, and there was an ad in the paper to audition for live acrobatic stunt shows. So I auditioned for a live acrobatic stunt show at Legoland in Windsor, got the job there, and kind of then did live shows and acrobatic and stunt shows for about a good, I'd say probably from the age of 19 till I was 22, of doing live shows. And then I got into commercials because parkour and free running at that point was very popular, and I basically just felt that was me taking from gymnastics from the gym onto the streets. The level now in parkour and free running is completely different to what it was back then. It's much higher, and some of the lads now, which a good friend of mine, Passion, is next level. So I kind of got into commercials. So I did some free running and parkour commercials for K-Swiss trainers and Duke men's aftershave, and then from my soccer skills, I did some Adidas commercials where I doubled for David Beckham and Steve Harden and Sorry. And I looked into stunts in TV and film and found the criteria over here in the UK, which you have to be elite at 6 disciplines. So I trained in the 6 disciplines and got my big break in stunts in film, was doubling James Bond in Quantum of Solace, doing his stunts for him with a couple of other stunt guys when I was 23, and that was 12 years ago. So that's kind of how I broke into the stunt industry, and it was quite a fun thing into the stunt industry and almost going straight into the best job that you can do really as a stunt for, and kind of not look back in. Yeah, so I chose to have back surgery 6 months ago, and I kind of planned that with Chris Hemsworth because I'm Chris Hemsworth's stunt double, and I've been in his contract now for 7 years. Was taking a little bit of time out of filming, so we kind of planned the surgery around what other projects that we coming up. So I had back surgery 6 months ago, and after that, obviously, I was on downtime. And a friend of mine, Damien Walters, has written and is directing a movie called School Fight the Movie. It's a comedy, a real British film movie, and he asked me to play one of the characters in it. So it was my first hand, and it was nice to act in a movie with dialogue for the first time for me. So it's something new, but I think with the downtime with my back surgery, it gave me the opportunity to try something different. If I hadn't had back surgery, then I would have, maybe been on another job doubling someone else and not been able to do that job. So I think everything happens for a reason.
Yeah.
Opened up another door for me and ended up absolutely loving it and enjoying it. And we're hoping that movie comes out early next year. As I said, it's called School Fight the Movie. We're looking at around probably March next year for that release. So, it's a massive. The acting side is a huge part of what we do, and for to as part performers.
Yeah. I was just gonna ask because Donovan, I don't know if you were on the air, for the part where he mentioned, being with Chris Hemsworth with the contract and everything. I know you're more of a Marvel fanatic than I am. If you want to, kind of take over and just ask, kind of more about that kind of stuff.
Yeah. So I have, a lot of questions about that. But so, number one, I guess, what is it like working with Chris Hemsworth? What's that like? So you're also involved with the center fit too, right? I think I've seen videos of you.
Exactly. Yeah, as I said, I've been with Chris now. His contract is 7 years. You can imagine we're spending a lot together. We've become very close friends. You got Chris. I mean, he's got he's funny, like as something work with you. He's taken around the world on each movie in the past. I've said 7 years now, so we're all very, very close. We sometimes it's an absolute honour to be his stunt double and to work with him. And he treats me so well, and we travel all over the world, takes me around everywhere. So we have a lot of fun, and I feel like that's what it brings the most out and the best out of people. It's actually having fun on set, and we're very much looking forward to the next Thor.
Yeah, so how long did you know they were making a fourth Thor?
Sorry, say that again?
Because, that kind of took everybody by surprise, the whole Thor Love and Thunder. How much of these Marvel secrets do you know? Did you know they're making this fourth Thor for quite some time where everybody else knew?
No, there's always talks that fly around the air and rumours. You never know. I was surprised when they announced it. I think the success of Thor Ragnarok and what's happening.
Donovan, you wanted to ask more of, the secrets that, maybe he knew beforehand, just being the stunt person for Thor.
Especially with, Avengers Endgame, how much did you know about it? I'm assuming you knew about Fat Thor and all that. What kind of, did you know any, the crazy details before, during shooting? Or how secretive is Marvel with that?
No, listen, it was very secretive, and not many people knew anything about it while we were shooting sequences and doing things. It was very... they did a great job at keeping those secrets, for a reason. So, people, you didn't really know much about it. No, it's just, you got to keep those things close to the chest, just purely because they get out, it ruins everything. So, no, it's very secretive on set, but it also exciting at the same time. So, it was cool to not really know what was going on, but also in the same breath, a bit challenging to know what was happening, but we managed to do it, and it's the biggest grossing movie of all time, so it must have worked.
How does that feel for you to know that you are a part of the highest grossing movie of all time? You're in history. You made history. How does that feel for you?
Yeah, it's amazing. When Infinity War came out and did so well, we were really hoping that Endgame would top that, and I think we never thought. I personally didn't think it would quite reach the heights that it reached, and once it was and overtook Titanic, I feel very, very lucky and blessed to be part of the biggest grossing movie of all time. It's an amazing achievement, and I'm very, very proud of that, and that's something I can, grow old and show my, grandkids kids and the children and what have you, the achievements. So that's great. And once it's on screen, the good thing about being a stunt performer as well is once you've won your big stunts you've done that you're very proud of, it's on screen. It's on screen forever. It's something you can refer to in years to come and be proud of. So I'm very happy and grateful with the body of work that I've got so far, and I want that to continue. And that was why I had the back surgery, is to give myself longevity and give myself with longevity working with Chris and making many great movies. We shot a movie in India and Thailand last year, which hopefully I think comes out either the end of this year or early next year. I'm not 100% sure when it comes out, and it's action packed, and I'm very much looking forward to that. So it's always good to be working on these huge shows. And at the moment, I'm just trying to get fighting fit, and I'm nearly there. As I said, it's been 6 months in surgery, and I'm very close to being back to 100%. It's mentally very challenging when you have back surgery, because you never know what to expect and how long it's going to take, and everyone heals differently and takes longer to recover. Some people take longer to recover than others. But as I said, I'm very much getting there, and I'm very excited for the rest of this year, and then next year we've got a very exciting year to come. So yeah, watch your space.
Yeah, something I wanted to ask Bobby was just, the stunt, on any, set that you've been a part of, going to, set and, being able to do, these different, physical kind of stunts, if you will, having, the variety of, getting to do a bunch of different, cool action shots. I mean, how exciting is it for you to, come on the set, every day, not have to repeat the same thing, but, in a sense, tackle a new challenge every day?
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's the beauty of the film industry and being a stunt performer in the film industry and the TV industry, is because, every day is different. Every stunt we do is different, even though it might, I've done hundreds and hundreds of wire gags and a lot of wire work throughout my career so far, but each one is always different in some kind of way. That's just the way that it is. That's kind of the beauty of it, that, it's never the same. It never feels mundane. It's always a challenge, and you always have to be on top of your game and be on your toes and be fully focused mentally to do what we do, because unfortunately it is dangerous. The nature of the beast of what we do, it is dangerous, and that's why we take it very seriously to rehearse and take a lot of time in rehearsals to start off very small and build up in increments to achieve the final product of a stunt that we do. So it is very exciting, and as I've been part of the Marvel universe now with Chris for a long time, and getting in the Thor costume is always a buzz, and to be part of such a iconic and a franchise that's made history and will go down in history is very exciting, and it's great to be challenging ourselves mentally and physically. I really feel stunt performers really are athletes now, 100%. Like, we train sometimes twice a day and all different kinds of skills, and try and stay on top of what we need to do, to try and keep taking our careers to the next level, because that's what film is demanding. It's demanding new original stunts and new challenges all the time. So yeah, I mean, it's an exciting time for us, and as I said, all of the Marvel stuff that Kevin Feige is an absolute genius. He just churns out hit after hit after hit.
So, going off of that, the recovery process, I mean, after doing all these stunts, I mean, what is your process, once you get on set, prepare? I mean, do you go through a routine of, stretches to make sure you're ready? And then kind of, after doing all the physical stunts in a day, is there a recovery process that, you do every day to make sure that, that you'll be ready for the next day of filming?
Yeah, I mean, listen, there's a certain thing that we do, or each performer is different, but I think, I will always try and stretch and warm up, but to be honest with you guys, sometimes when you're getting ratcheted on a wire that's on a hydraulic ram, and you're getting ratcheted through a pane of glass, or you're getting ratcheted through a wall, sometimes you can't really warm up for that, because it's one of those things that it's a crash. So, we do our best. We warm ourselves up. We try and get warm by general warming up and stretching that we do, and over the years, you kind of get used to, what it feels like. But sometimes you can't prevent, it's just sometimes it is going to be a crash while it's back. That's just the way it is. And, and afterwards, if you do pick up a bit of a knock or a bit of an injury, or you've got a bit of a sore neck, sore back, whatever it may be, or you tweak something on your body, and, I go and see a physio specialist or a couple of different physio specialists that I've got for different things, just to try and iron out and get you back in your body into give yourself the best chance to get back to fighting fitness as quick as you can, because the truth of it is sometimes we do pick up injuries and we've got to basically strap that up, tape that up and go again. And then, we can't really afford to have time off because we've got a job to do. And, unless it's something very, very serious where you need to have time off, we generally try and suck it up, strap it up and go again. So that's just the nature of the beast. But we try and take every precaution we can to warm up, rehearse, keep everything tight as we can, and see someone afterwards if you picked up a knock. But as I said, that's just the way it is.
So, Bobby, can you talk a little bit about the fitness company you're a part of with Center, the Chris Hemsworth, it's official training app, right?
Yes, exactly. I mean, it was great. I was actually in Sydney at the time, just over a year ago, maybe a year and a half ago, when Chris asked me if I wanted to be a part of the Centre app, which is an absolute honour. I mean, I've trained and worked with Chris for so long now. We train together, and he knows. As I said, my background is gymnastics, so I have a certain element of skill and expertise in certain ways that I train myself in conditioning and my own body weight stuff. So, training with Chris, he's taken those pieces from me and our training that we do together, and he's taken pieces from Zoki, he's taken pieces from Daruk. What he's done is he's very clever in the way that he's put this app together, and all these expert trainers in their fields at what they do, and he takes bits and pieces from all of us and puts into one training program for him. So it's fully functional training. He works all parts of his body. And it's great to be part of the app. We've got some fantastic people on there. There's everything you need all under one app. You've got sleep, visualization to help you sleep and to meditate. There's yoga. There's Pilates. There's no weight training, so you're just using your own body weight. There's weight training. There's boxing. There's MMA. There's absolutely everything that you need. So that's kind of what Chris wanted to develop, was slightly different from any other app, and give people the opportunity to do a bit of everything. And then you have the nutrition side of that with some of the best chefs on there, and it's great to be a part of. And I'll be back to shooting some more content very soon with the guys, and very much looking forward to that. So yeah, I mean, it's great to be a part of the Centre app, and I think it just keeps growing and growing and growing.
So Chris is I remember seeing an interview a while back when Chris was talking about how his weight training and how that whole, how it's changed over the years, where it's more conditioning now. And he's even said that he's not as big now as he was, say, in the first tour, but he's more limber, more flexible. How has that training changed for you guys, going back from, all the way from the beginning till now,
Well, I mean, I guess you have to, it's trial and error. It's very much trial and error with testing things out and seeing what works for you. As I said, my background was gymnastics, so my whole career was my own body weight. I didn't really lift a weight in the gym until I was probably 18, 19, maybe older. So that was very different for me. So for example, what I mean by my own body weight was, chins, dips, push-ups, air squats, calf raises, bear crawls, kick throughs, all of my own body weight, just very functional, because I made the mistake back in 2010 when I done doubles for Ryan Reynolds on Green Lantern in New Orleans. I went to the gym and I wasn't quite, at that point I was still only 25, I was a bit slender, and I trained like mad with weights to bulk up, and I did, and I got into great shape, but I got into I was too big almost, where I couldn't articulate and move my body that well. It was very difficult. I felt too heavy, and what we found and what I've tried to do over the years is actually still train and still get into the shape we need to get into, but a much leaner muscle mass and much more functional training, so it's easier to move and not so heavy and sluggish. And that's what we've and that's very much, I think, what Chris was talking about, and what he means by that is being able to do that and try. And what works in every single person that trains is very different. You've got to remember, everyone, the way they eat and pattern, the way their metabolism works, the way they train, everyone's different, and what works for someone doesn't necessarily work for someone else. So you find your happy medium, and that's what we've kind of tried to do is now is always functional training, always moving, so we can take that onto set, and if you're doing a fight scene, everything flows much easier, we don't feel too stiff, and if I'm doing a stunt in a wire, I'm hitting the ground, I'm not too heavy, and I don't feel like I can't move. So I've learned that lesson, from trial and error over the years. So I think that's probably what Chris meant when he mentioned that. And I think we're both probably, coming out the back of my back surgery, and Chris is in great shape. He's always in great shape. I mean, he's an absolute machine. I've never known anyone like him that is in that shape and such an athlete. He's a great surfer. He's very fit. He trains at the highest level. So he's just one of those one-off people. I think he really is. He really is almost a god, if you like.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask you, Bobby, just being a stunt double for, guys like Chris Evans, Chris Hemsworth, Christian Bale, you mentioned Ryan Reynolds before, going through that, being a stunt double for, all these famous actors, but, them all having, a certain different body type and, figure, how is it for you to, have to kind of mimic in a sense of, make sure you're either lean or, a little more bigger mass-wise? How do you do that? How long does it take for you to, try to mimic, to the best of your ability, kind of their body types?
Well, I mean, for me, as I said, what I try and do is I try and stay at the middle ground. So I try and stay at a weight and a body functional position where I can put on weight fairly quickly, or I can lose it fairly quickly within maybe a 6-week period either side, or even less sometimes, 4 to 5 weeks. I can put it on or lose it, and I think I've been able to do that with muscle memory and doing it over the years as a stunt performer for 12 years, doubling all these different actors with all different body types. So I think I found a pattern and a diet that works for me to be able to lose it and put it on, and up the training slightly and stuff like that to make it work. Because it's not easy. Every actor I've doubled has a different physique and a different way that they look and the different way that they move. But again, that's what we take on as stunt performers, and that's what we have to do. And that's up to us to achieve those high levels of performance and what we have to do. So that's kind of how I've done it over the years. But now I'm more so, with Chris a lot. He fluctuates in size, and especially when we do Thor and Avenger stuff, he goes to the next level of size. So that means for me training twice a day, eating 8 meals a day, 2 of those being protein shakes, and training 6 days a week, probably 2 hours a day. So as you can imagine, it's pretty full on.
Yeah. Just before we continue, I just wanted to get a gauge, how much longer you have, just so we don't go over too much time, and
I've literally got to go now, mate. I've got another meeting, guys. But it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you guys.
All right. Yep. Thank you. It was great to talk to you.
I appreciate it, guys. Thanks for your time.
Yep. Hope to talk soon.
Cheers. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Yeah.